Hello, beautiful souls. The Blue Magician, or the Cosmic Professor, is back with another phenomenal message for you guys today. And today I want to talk about a dream that I had. I don't want to really share any more, but just share the details of this dream with you guys. So, earlier this morning, I had a lucid dream. For those who don't know what a lucid dream is, it's basically where you are controlling the dream. But let's backtrack into the details before I became lucid in the dream. So, in the dream, I was having problems with my mother, which were actually getting in between the relationship of me and my partner. And even though it was like trialing and it was challenging, it only ended up creating opportunity for me and my partner to become closer. So the intended effect actually was reversed, and it created opportunity instead of things going downhill. So I remember like I was downstairs washing the dishes or something, and I seen inside of the sink there were words. It was like with the residual of food or something, and it said, look inside of your heart, right? And that struck me because for the longest time I've been seeing hearts everywhere I go. I just see hearts in everything, everywhere I go. And that's because I'm very positive, and I'm always talking about things like love and compassion and acceptance and things of that nature. So of course that's the blessings and energy that I attract into my world. That's what my mind sees and perceives. And so so I looked inside of the sink again to like reread the message to see if I was like correctly reading it, because it seemed like words, but it's almost as if I knew what it was saying without it clearly saying so. So I looked again, and then I was clearly able to read it. It's almost as if it was like written more neatly for me to see. And then I remember at that point my consciousness was present. It was almost like I was like stepping into a movie or something. Like everything was just like I knew I was dreaming. And so I took control of the dream, and then I ended up looking inside of the sink again, and then the message that I seen, it said, I love you and I live inside of you. It's like I love you and I live in you. And that was very powerful. It was so powerful that as I walked away, I started gasping. Like I became so emotional. It was like it just is like just crazy to me, because before I had fell asleep, like I was me and my partner, we were talking and talking about like what's going on in our lives and the challenges and things that we're facing at home. And so it was just like confirmation that I needed, like that comfort that I needed, and it made me feel really loved, and as if spirit saying like, I see you and I hear your troubles, and so as I walked upstairs, like walked around the house, I seen another portrait. It was like a picture, and it said, I am always watching you. And that was like, that right there alone just like warmed my heart. Like you don't even know if I could express to you guys how I felt in that moment. It just felt like warmth and pure love, pure, and so from that moment I remember the dream fading, and I ended up entering another dream where I had asked old friend, like friend, why did they steal my phone? And they said it was because they were hurt and wounded, and I took it as that. And I remember entering a train station, and then I was somehow on this pole, like this yellow pole, trying to go to the far side of the platform, and this kid was also on it, but they were being bullied by this kid that I used to know and his friend group. So what I did was I ended up as they were maneuvering him to like they were taking him too far on off the platform to where it was like he couldn't get back to where he needed to be. So I managed to get off, and with my finger I directed him all the way back around in front of them to shock them and show them like karma is real, because I know they didn't expect that. And my dream ended fading there, and so I changed into another dream where I actually intended to go to a Buddhist monastery. And in this dream, I remember the first thing that I seen when I spawned, when I was like, the dream scene appeared, was a portrait of a snake, and it had eyes everywhere on its body, right? And so these weren't any like normal eyes. I don't know if you guys have ever taken psychedelics or seen any like trippy visuals, and you'll see all those little tiny eyes everywhere. It was similar to that, but it was like more so like human eyes. Like it was like bigger eyes, you know, like the eyes weren't tiny, but they were bigger, and they were actually moving as if you're looking into my eyes now, but individual eyes everywhere on the body. And so it made me feel like as if I were tripping, and then like as I took my gaze from the portrait and I looked around, I seen it start to like, those eyes were everywhere. And so I took it again, similar to the previous message, the spirit's letting me know, like, I see you, I'm always watching you, you know, I'm always with you. And so I left the room, and then I ended up being greeted by this child. He was like a Buddhist kid or something, and he was so happy, but he was so strong. Like he grabbed my arm and he pulled me. I was like, whoa, you strong there, buddy. But then he like took me to where his friends were at, and then they were eating and stuff, and so I just watched them be kids and sat with them for a bit. And it felt kind of strange because like, since the race difference, you know, like they were Asian, and you know, I'm a black man, so I felt out of place a little bit. But then I kind of like thought to myself, like, that don't really matter, you know, trying to get myself to like be grounded and remember acceptance, love, simple things like that. And so I remember after one of the kids was eating, I took a paper towel, and like I washed it, and I wiped his mouth, and just pretty much like tried to look after the kids, you know, because they were kids and there was like nobody else around. And so I went to see if I could like find their master or their parent or something, because it seemed like there was like a passage downstairs or something. So I started walking towards downstairs, and I seen on this piece of paper, it was the number 14. And that's the last thing I seen before I woke up. And so this dream, again, it was very significant for me, because it let me know that spirit is within our heart. You know, it's something that I already know, but when you have trust and you have faith in spirit, like me, I'm somebody I have strong faith in God, in the Lord, whatever you want to call this God energy, right? And so when you have strong faith in a higher power, it's almost as if this higher power lives within you. And whether you believe or not, this higher power is within everything, of course. And so it was just reaffirming to me, because I think sometimes, again, we forget or we get discouraged when there's times of trial and people are testing your faith, and all of these different kinds of things that kind of make you forget that you're powerful. I'm sorry for the noise, guys. I guess there's people in the neighborhood mowing their lawn, but it's okay. So yeah, it just reaffirmed to me that, again, God is always watching, and I am not alone, you know, and you're not alone. And I wanted to share this message because I feel like it's so easy in this material world to forget that you are loved, you know, that you are supported, you know, that you are a spiritual being, that you are powerful, that you are more than the material, the physical could ever amount to or limit you to be, you know. And so it was very emotional. It made me cry, you know. And I remember as I went to walk my dog earlier, I ended up seeing this on the road. I seen it and I looked at it and was like, wow, those are AirPods. And then I looked and I seen on the case, and it was like a heart. I hope you guys can see. And although there were no AirPods in there, it was still like really synchronistic, because it's like spirit saying, I love you and I'm listening. I'm always watching you. I always hear you. You know, it's just synchronistic of that message. So I was like, wow, like that is a story to tell. That's something that I need to share with you guys, because you guys must know that you are not alone, that there's this higher energy that loves you. It loves you like unconditionally, you know. Like I cannot explain in words how I felt. You know, I felt like as if I felt taken care of. Like there was no worry, nothing. It just felt like peace. Like, okay, somebody finally understands me. Like I know a lot of folks feel like there's people that don't understand them and these different kinds of things. Like when we dealing with people, it gets complicated sometimes, and sometimes we forget compassion and patience and all of these different kinds of things, because we're dealing with people on an everyday basis that comes from different walks of life, or they share a different life path than us, or they think different than us. So we forget these things, these simple truths like acceptance. So when you are in the face of the Creator, which we always are, right, it's like, again, there's just this this level of acceptance that the mental mind can't really fully comprehend, because the mental mind is used to comparing everything that you see, from a leaf to a squirrel to a mouse or a bracelet. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, it's comparing everything and compartmentalizing everything as if everything is not one. You know, it's not one big happening, right? And so, yeah, I just, again, like it made me cry, because I feel like we lose ourselves in this world in today's age, and our ancestors have been experiencing this in the past, because we're so focused on surviving that we forget the Lord, we forget God, you know, we forget all of these things, and we're just focused on self. You know, we lose love, compassion, and all of these things that that are like true virtue, you know. And to me, the number 14, it stands for it just stands for like someone who is a spiritual warrior. You know, you stand strong, you have faith, you believe in yourself, you believe in God, you know, you practice your wisdom, because 1 is the number of a leader, and 4 is the number of the house. It's the household. It's a steady foundation, right? And so a steady foundation, you're somebody, you're very wise, you're somebody that holds a lot of truth, you're somebody that holds a lot of space, you can take care of others, you love a lot, you know. And I think that could have been why it was symbolized that I was with the children, you know, taking care of the children, because that's my nature. That's the kind of person I am. I always put God first, you know. I'm a very selfless person. I love to help people. That's my nature, you know. So Spirit just basically letting me know, like, and showing me myself. It's like it's almost as if I'm seeing my own self through the lens of myself, because God's Spirit is just our higher self. So it's very unique. It's crazy, but it doesn't need any more words than the few that I've already said, because it's pretty simple, you know. And I just want to leave you guys with a little sermon, you know. Like I was reading in my book, it's a Buddhist book about the Lama Milarepa. I don't really know how to pronounce his name. And he was a sinner, because his father had ended up dying, and his family lost their fortune, all of his father's fortune, because of his uncle and his aunt. And it left his mom and his family in despair, and his mom ordered him to learn black magic to revenge his uncle and his auntie, to so they can feel good, and so that they can it was really out of just hatred and anger. And so he did so, but he ended up killing more people in the process. And so after killing all those people, he felt bad. He knew that he accumulated negative karma, and so he wanted to purify his negative karma, and he ended up looking for a lama that can help him purify and become a Buddha in one lifetime. So he ended up training with a Dzogchen master, and the Dzogchen masters didn't think that his practices was enough to deliver this dude, because of his evil deeds, his evil actions. So he sent him to another lama, which already knew he was coming, named Marpa. And so Marpa, what he ended up doing is acting as if he was like crazy or something, and he would just like make him build temples, break down the temples. He would abuse him, be very mean to him, till to the point where his back had sores. He literally just drained everything out of him, made him miserable, made him try to leave a couple times, and all these different kinds of things. But Milarepa, he didn't. He wanted the Dharma more than he valued it with his life. So he didn't really care about anything else at that point. And he said, "Why live if he couldn't get the Dharma?" So after his times of being trialed, like to the bone, to where he almost killed himself, then that's the point where Marpa accepted him and said, "I'll give you the oral instructions and the transmission of his lineage," because he realized he was a worthy disciple. And so in the same way, God is always testing us, always testing our faith, always trying to see how strong we are, trying to see how much we believe in ourselves. You know, all of that stuff is true. You know, and no matter what we go through, no matter what kind of dirt or annoyances or abuse, trauma that we go through, our value never changes, right? I was listening to a quote by Jeremy Anderson, and I'll leave you guys with this for today. And he was basically saying that no matter what you do to a dollar, you could rip it, you could tear it, you could step on it, you could spit on it, you could still clean it off, tape it back together, go to the store, and it'll still be worth $1. Because the value of $1 never changes. Because the person who created the dollar said that this is going to be worth $1, right? And they solidified that. And in just the same way we were born with a purpose. Our Creator knew why it intended to create us, and we were born with that purpose, and no matter what goes on, that purpose is never tarnished. Our essence is never tarnished in any way, no matter what we go through, you know. So I'll leave you guys with that for today, and I'll let you guys know that you are loved, and that Spirit sees and hears you and knows what you're going through. So I love you guys. I wish you guys blessings and healing and miracles on your journey. Peace, beloveds. I'll see you in the next one.